whenever we create any user directory will be created for user. ls-t, no such file or directory. For this user, home directory was not created. So did I make any mistake?
Hello. Welcome to episode 2 of user management, part of my Linux series. Useradd is just a 7 letters command. But if you skip the 7 essentials, you will definitely end up with broken permissions and messing up with your file system. So don't do that and learn it in the right way. So I'll sketch you at the terminal. We'll learn how to do that in a right way.
Let's go ahead and create one user add. Then I have to provide a login name. So I want to create, let's say dev1 user. Permission denied. It means you must be a privileged user or a root user. In our case, we are privileged user. Okay, very first user when whatever you are creating on your Linux system already has this capability. So I just press up arrow key. So previous command has come up. Then on control A to jump cursor beginning of the line. Then we put sudo over here. And then we have to provide a password. One more thing before creating a user, I would like to show you home directory. Okay, and we do not have any home directory over here. Whenever we create any user directory will be created for user. Hit enter and provide the password, and user has been created. Now we know, okay, tell command. So tell dash n and 1, and here my user, and the user UID has been generated 1001. 1001 is a group. Then of course, we did not provide any details over here. That's why in between this column, this is empty. And home directory we can find in /home. That's a home directory. And this is the shell which is assigned to this user, ls-t, and no such file or directory. So let me do one thing. What happened? So for this user, home directory was not created. So did I make any mistake? No. When you create a user, by default, it doesn't create home directory for user. In order to create a home directory for user, we have an option. Sudo useradd, very simple. Then I have to choose -m. It creates a user's home directory. And let's onboard dev3 sudo useradd -m dev3. Now dev2 has been created for us. And after that, user ID is created 1002 and so on and so forth. But here the group ID is different, okay, because the group ID was not available. Today we are only talking about the user management. In next session, we will more discuss in detail about the groups, okay? So just high level overview. So don't worry about this. All right, so let's see. So dev3, this is the home directory created for this user. Okay, this is for -m option. But in this, if you see over here, what happened, the default shell is also assigned, right? Sometimes we want to assign a different shell to a user. So we have another option, and which is -s. And how it works, let's go sudo user add, and this time we want to perform two operations at the same time. We want to create a user home directory, and for creating a user home directory we have option -m, and we also want to assign a shell to this user, and I want to assign bin bash. Okay, if you want to see from where this information is coming, so very simple, cat/etc shell. Okay, and here we have all the shells. Please provide your feedback if you want to learn about the shell scripting. So for this time, I want to assign a bash shell to a user. Here, so it is not like you can use only one option at a time. This time we are adding a user. We are also saying please create a home directory and assign this shell to this user. Let's say qa1 user has done. Now let me come back over here. So my user has been created. UID, GID, home directory is over here, and this time the shell has been assigned to this user. So far we have learned how we can create a user add, how we can create a user along with the home directory. So -m was the option, and if we want to assign a specific shell, then we can use -s option. Okay, next, sometimes you have to provide home directory. I mean, we don't want user to have a default home directory. We want user to, whenever user login, it has its one place where user can put its data. So this is more specifically like if we want to assign a custom home directory. So how we could do this? So for that, again, we have to use sudo, and useradd is the command, and I want it to be /home. It's short pro ops. So operations user, we want this user to use this home directory. It is not necessary you use always home. You could also provide any other path as well. Okay, just for simplicity, I'm keeping it simple and using /home directory. Let's go ahead and use this sudo user add -d because we want to define a custom home directory for the user. Ops1 we want to see. So it's been done, it's assigned, it says project or pro ops. This is the directory for the this ops1 user where it has to use. Okay, anyway, you have to see this. So this is the command we use to switch the user. So far we do not have password for this, right? So I'm just providing sudo switch user dash and which user I want to switch, ops1. Okay, and it says warning, right? Cannot change the directory, home pro, no such file or directory. Okay, and we know we have this command pwd, so where we can identify where we are. So user we have changed. Okay, we are on the system login as a ops user, we have changed the user, but home directory is not changed. And if I want to check whether I have logged in as an ops user or not, we have a command foo mi. We are logged in as this user, and this is the home directory, but we assign this home directory. So what just happened over here? Okay, so we have one solution. Okay, control D just to exit, or you can also type exit. Okay, and then you can log out. So here, if we see /home, the directory was not created. Okay, so there is one option. Solution one is to create a directory. Okay, mkdir -p, and what was the home directory? /home and pro ops, I guess. Yeah, and let's see. So this time user has this directory and it did not have any problem. So if you are using -d option, so you could create a directory, user home directory beforehand. If you don't want to do that, you said no, why should we take this overhead? So we have another option. Let's go ahead and see. So this option, we have more options, but why this option is different? So I will explain you later, but let's first see what another option we have for the user. Okay, so here let me this time, last time I pressed Control D, this time let me type exit. So now I'm logged out. I'll create another user, sudo user add ops2, but this time we use -m option. So there is nothing new, we already learned about -m option. Okay, and which is to create a user home directory. Okay, so now we are using both option in the conjunction or together, so we don't have to create a home directory. So home, again pro ops, this time 2, and we are creating ops2 user. Okay, this is the username. Then hit enter and group ops2 exit. Okay, so instead of ops2, let's say ops3. It's created and tell, and we could see also it's assigned. Let me again do the sudo switch user ops3 and who am I, and I got ops3. There is also another command ID by which you can also check this. Anyways, I wanted to tell you this later, but it is a command. Okay, so it's working, but when to use what? Here the question is, right? We have two options. So very simple. Already one directory is there, and if you want to assign that particular directory to a user, use -d option. But if directory is not there and you want Linux create a directory for you, then use -m and -d option. All right.
Now you know how to create a perfect user, but in real world, this is not the case always. Things always change. And in next session, I will tell you how you can handle such situations. By the way, thank you very much for supporting on the series. This really, really helps. So don't forget to tell me in the comments how painful this today's journey was. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, bye bye. Bye bye.